When central bank became the real government of the world, what if the people we think run the world actually don't? What if president, prime minister and parliament are just the face while the real power sits in quiet building behind soundproof doors, run by people you never selected? What if the true ruler of modern civilization are the central banks, because somewhere along the timeline of history, without a vote, without a debate, and without a deadline, without a headline announcing the shift, central bank stopped being caretaker of money and become the real government of the world. Today we uncover when it happened, how it happened, and why almost nobody noticed. When money and power merged. To understand how central bank become global governor, we need to go back to their origins. The first central banks were created not to help citizens but to solve government's money problems. In 1694, the British government was groaning in war debt. It needed money fast. A private group of wealthy financiers offers a solution. We will lend you the money if you let us create a bank that issue currency backed by your debt. That deal birthed the Bank of England, the first modern central bank. From day one, central bank had a dual role: fund governments, control the money supply. But something subtle and dangerous happened. By giving central banks the power to create and manage money, governments handed over the keys to the entire economy. A slow shift begins, one that would take centuries to reveal itself. The rise, the invisible empire forms. For the next 200 years, central banks spread across Europe, France, Australia, Germany. Each nation adopted the model. Then in 1913, after secret meetings and politics maneuvering, America joined the club with the creation of the Federal Reserve. Central banks grew during crisis after crisis: the panic of 1909, the Great Depression, World War I and II, the 1970s inflation spiral. Each disaster brought governments to their knees. Each time, central banks arrived as the saviors. But every rescue came at a price: more independence, more authority, more control over national economies. They become the institutions that could create money, dictate interest rates, sell or buy government debt, and regulate the financial system. And slowly, quietly, the balance of power inverted. Government begins relying on central banks more than central banks relied on governments. The breaking points: 1971 and the death of real money. There is a specific moment when the financial world changed forever. August 15, 1971. President Richard Nixon ended the gold standard, severing the tie between money and physical value. Before 1971, money had limits. After 1971, money became limitless. And when money has no limits, the people who control its creation gain unlimited influence. Central banks went from regulator to creator, from assistants to architects, from advisor to ruler. Every modern economic system, from trade agreements to national budgets, now depends on central banks' policy. They don't just influence economies, they steer them. Every modern economic system, from trade agreement to national budgets now depend on central bank policy. They don't just influence economies, they steer them. They fall out the world under central banks ruler. After 1971, global debt skyrocketed, governments borrowed more, banks created more credit, consumer took out more loans, and every dollar of debt increased central banks' importance hit. When 2008 hits, this power became undeniable. Stock markets crashed, bank imploded, economies froze. Who stepped in? No presidents, not finance ministers. Central banks, the Federal Reserve alone created over 3 trillion out of thin air to stabilize markets. The European central banks, Bank of Japan and Bank of England, followed from that moment. Central banks become the emergency engines of the global economy. In the world, the real governments failed fixes the loop that can not be escaped. Since 2008, central banks have used the same tools repeatedly. Print more money, lower interest rates, buy government debt, rescue falling institutions. Each solution keeps the system alive but also make it more dependent on central bank because every fix requires more intervention and more intervention require more power. It's a loop with no off switch. Governments no design policies based on what central bank will allow. Markets move based on what central banks announce. Entire nation plan budgets based on central bank forecasts. The tails is no longer wagging the dog. The tail is the dog. Modern parallel the rise of the total monetary control. Today the shift reaches its climax. Central banks' digital currencies (CBD) CSR emerged worldwide. These are not cryptocurrencies. They are programmable, trackable, controllable forms of national money. It implemented at scale. Central banks won't just influence economies, they will control spending behavior directly. Imagine a future where certain purchases can be restricted, money expires if not used, spending can be monitored in real time, access to funds can be turned on and off. This is not speculation, it's written in official report from global financial institutions. Central banks were once bookkeeper, now they are becoming economic governors, and soon there may be something even more powerful. Take away one, central banks gained power gradually, crisis by crisis, until they quietly surpassed the governments they were designed to serve. Take away 2. Once money becomes unlimited, the institutions controlling it becomes the true center of global authority. Digital money may give central banks an unprecedented level of control over daily life. The warning: we are approaching a moment where financial power and politics power merged completely, and the world may not be ready for the consequences. If this opened your eyes, share it. If you want more deep, unsettling breakdowns of the system shaping our worlds, subscribe and remember, to understand power, always follow the money, especially the money created from the nothing.